in me that no other author really can. Pink and orange cover. I think that that's such a pretty cover and color combination. Extremely exciting books. Actually, there's 3 that I was super excited about. So at the end of this video, after I show you all the exciting books, we're gonna do some ASMR and add them into my Notion tracker, and we'll see the grand total of how many books I currently have on my TBR. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. Welcome to June. It's crazy that it's June. It is officially a summer month for me. I consider June, July, August the prime summer months, and I am so excited that it is summer. I am wearing my Mamma Mia skirt in celebration of it being summer. It is actually so cute and it twirls so well. Look how cute it is! You're not here to talk about my adorable skirt, even though it is adorable. We are here to talk about the new books that I have recently bought. This is gonna be our summer book haul. I did a spring edition. This is my summer edition, and I'm gonna do a fall and winter edition. I've been really trying to buy less books. So instead of doing a book haul every month like I used to, I'm just going to collect my books over the span of like 3 months and put them all in like summer edition, spring edition, season edition book haul. So this is our summer one. Hello everyone, welcome. We have some very exciting books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books. No, 13 to add to our physical TBR, our library. And also what I've been doing, the way that I've been tracking my physical TBR is with my Notion tracker. So at the end of this video, after I show you all the exciting books, we're gonna do some ASMR and add them into our Notion tracker, and we'll see the grand total of how many books I currently have on my TBR, my physical TBR. But let's get started talking about the books because that is the most exciting part. The first one is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This is the Barnes & Noble edition. I went to Barnes & Noble special to get this cover because look how pretty it is. And then it has like a little painting on the inside covers, and I think that it's so summery and beautiful. And I love Carly Fortune's book covers. I think they're so pretty. I did just finish reading This Summer Will Be Different. I told myself, because I didn't love the first 2 books, that if I read her 3rd book and I like it, I will get the 4th book. And I really like This Summer Will Be Different. It should be in a reading vlog coming up. And it takes place on a lake, of course, because Carly Fortune always has those very atmospheric reads, and this is going to be set on a lake. Basically, when she was 17, her and her nan used to spend the summers on a lake. Alice was really into photography, so she took a picture of this picture that always like stands out in her mind of like a really happy time of a random boat out in the water. Then she goes back years later and she sees the boat again. She meets the man that was in her first picture, and they start this like romance, but she's also being a little bit cautious because of things that happened in her past. That is One Golden Summer. I think it's gonna be so cute. You can definitely tell there's like the yellow speedboat that she had taken a picture of, and I just think this is gonna be such a fun summer read. So excited for this one. Next is While We're Young by K.L. Walther. While I was getting the One Golden Summer, and I went to get the new Boys of Tommen book, but I couldn't find it at Barnes. But I did find this one, and it has these adorable little sprayed edges. So this is by K.L. Walther. She is the author of The Seven Broken Rules and What Happens After Midnight, and like one more book I'm pretty sure. I was obsessed with The Seven Broken Rules. I loved it so much. Midnight, What Happens After Midnight it was fine, it was good, but I really love The Seven Broken Rules. And this is While We're Young, and it takes place in Philly, and I actually lived in Philly for a couple of years, so reading about a Philly experience would be so much fun for me, I decided. Also inspired by Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is such a fun movie if you haven't seen it. I love it so much. So that's the kind of vibe that we get, and it takes place in Philly. What happens is an epic day, racing up the famous Rocky Steps, which I saw many a time, tasting the Philly cheesesteaks and crashing a wedding. It's the senior skip day, and they have this like last crazy day before graduation, and there's a little romance in there with her best friend's brother, I think. I think it's gonna be so much fun. I also love how K.L. Walther does add little like Taylor Swift Easter eggs in there. I always have so much fun like finding them and underlining them. So I'm excited for this one as well. One of the two extremely exciting books, actually there's three that I was super excited about. It's like the next installment of the Unconnected series of yours truly, Part of Your World, and the one that I'm reading also right now. I forgot what it's called, but this is what it's called. And this is Say You'll Remember Me. Also, are you kidding me? That is so cute. I love that so much. There is Xavier Rush, who is a veterinarian, and then our female main character is Samantha. They have this really amazing date. I think it says, until Xavier opens his mouth and proves that even sculpted gods can say the absolute worst thing. Which I am so interested to see what that is going to be. So they got into a fight. And then Samantha goes back, who decides that her life is too crazy to have a relationship, so she wants Xavier to forget her. Xavier cannot forget her, and this is that story from there. It makes sense based on Say You'll Remember Me. It's also a Taylor Swift line, which is a common line, but still, I just always hear the it seems fun, and I love Abby Jimenez's writing, and I love how she always kind of includes a more deeper topic in her books. So I'm very excited to read Say You'll Remember Me. The second of the three really exciting books, and that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, our new Emily Henry book. I again got the Barnes edition because it's this gorgeous pink and orange cover. I think that's such a pretty cover and color combination. And then on our inside, this is like our little checker, which is so cute. But it says it was brief and it was beautiful. And that is just such a heart-wrenching quote. Just like staring at it, I'm just like, oh, this book is gonna make me cry. So this book is gonna make me cry is what you're saying, Emily. But I love Emily Henry so much. I have another one of her books, People Leaving on Vacation, on our May TBR. And I'm gonna add this to our Emily Henry collection. She's one of my favorite authors. I love the way she puts her characters together. I love the way that she gives them such realistic, brings them to life so well with her words. And she always has, again, another sort of like woman's fiction element to her stories, where the female main character is going through more than just a romance, and I feel like that builds out our story a lot better than if it was just like a romance, and Emily Henry is really amazing at that. She also has really amazing quotes in here. Her descriptions, even her descriptions are so perfect in my opinion. I think they're amazing. Similar to Jessa Hastings, although Jessa Hastings has to take the cake for describing an emotion so beautifully. Maybe Emily Henry will change that with this book. Who knows? So we have a writer. Alice Scott is our writer. There is a competition going on where sort of like, it almost sounds like Verity, where there's this very famous Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud setting Alice against another competitor, Hayden, to write her biography. And this is like a competition among them to see who's going to get the rights to write her biography. And Alice hopes it's going to be her big writing break. The biography of the woman is Margaret Ives. Hayden is the competitor of Alice, and Margaret Ives is the tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. So it is giving, it wasn't Verity, it is giving that one, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's giving that vibe a little bit, which I loved that book, so I'm so excited to read this one. Her take on it, Margaret decides to give Hayden and Alice different parts of her story, and they have to, I guess, write it to see who's going to win the contract to write her biography, and I think it's going to be so fun. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 books that are all in the same series. We have 2 novellas and 1 spin-off, and the next book in the series, and that is the Zodiac Academy. As you can see, where's Zodiac Academy? Over here. Reading the Zodiac Academy. I am on Shadow Princess, except I got the indie published versions, and now they're coming out with more like traditional versions, so she's rolling them out one a month. The next one in the series that is in the new publishing is Cursed Fates. Look how beautiful this is, but look how big. Do you see this brick? This is so... This has to be over 800 pages. It has to be. There's no way. Oh my god, it's almost 1,000 pages. I just saw page 934. It's almost 1,000 pages. okay, I didn't know it was this big. When this came in the mail, I was like, wow, that's big. But now actually looking at it, it's huge. This is the 5th book in the Zodiac Academy, and I love the Zodiac Academy series. I will say the first book is very controversial. I didn't love it. I really didn't. I would say if you are thinking about reading it, at least read the second one. If you're thinking about reading the series, at least get to the second one and finish the second one, because the first one was bad. It was bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like the bully romance aspect of it, but I just loved the story of the Zodiac Academy and the world that these sisters, Caroline and Suzanne, create. Sisters or just like friends. The co-authors, the story they create is amazing. The world they create is so much fun to be invested in. So I decided to continue on with it, and this is our 5th book. I'm gonna put this down because it's actually getting heavy for me to hold. It's so big. Then we have 2 little novellas in the same series. This is The Big ASS Party, which will make more sense if you read the series. This is novella 5.5, so After the Curse Fates. I'm going to be reading The Big ASS Party, and then our next novella is The Origins of an Academy Bully. This is actually a prequel to the series, so I think I saw on TikTok a certain reading order. Oh my god, the text is big though. I'll give them that. In the novellas at least, the text is big. I feel like in the traditionally published ones, these aren't that big, and that's why this book is massive. Yeah, they're not that big in this one, but it's still massive. So this is, I saw something on TikTok of like the perfect Zodiac Academy reading order, so I'm going to refer to that and see when I have to read this book. But that's our little novellas, and then I got the Zodiac Academy, The Awakening as told by the boys. So this is the first book in the series. The first book in the Zodiac Academy is called The Awakening, and this is as told by the boys in the series. There's like 4 heirs, and they're the main antagonists in, I feel like, at least the first few books are the main antagonists. And this is the first book as told by them because, like I said, it's a bully romance and they are so mean. So I'm interested to see what their POV is going to throw at us. I think it's really fun. Giving you a brief summary, it is about Tori and Darcy Vega, and they are lost princesses to this kingdom of Solaria. So when they turn 18, they get whisked away to Solaria and get put into the Zodiac Academy, where they learn to hone their powers, all 4 elements. And when they get there, they met with a ton of opposition because there are boys, 4 or 5, that are the heirs. So when their parents died 18 years ago, the princesses got lost, so the heirs rose to power, and they have been groomed to take the throne when they get older, and they are not going to give up their spot easily. So they give Tori and Darcy an extremely hard time. I feel like it gets a lot more convoluted at book 3. That's where it really starts to get convoluted, I feel like, this Academy. So I just finished that one. I just finished The Reckoning. So I'm excited to see what the 4th book is. But that is our 4 books from the Zodiac Academy. And now we have a really exciting one, but not the next most exciting one. But this one is still exciting. Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I have heard so much about this series, specifically from Miss Sarah Caroli. Of course, I love her. I watch her all the time, and she loves this series. And I have done some research, and a lot of other TikTokers love this story as well. I saw it in a local bookstore by me, and the cashier, it was an older middle-aged woman, and she said, this is a really good book. You're really gonna like it. It's so good. It's part of a series, and we talked a little bit about it. So I'm like, this seems to be a series that spans generations. So I'm excited to read it and get my perspective on the famous Beartown series. It is a fiction book. I think it's considered a fiction book. This is a story about a town and a game, but even more about loyalty, commitment, and the responsibilities of friendship. The people we disappoint even though we love them, and the decisions we make every day that come to define us. In this story of a small forest town, Frederick Bachman has found the entire world. That sounds so good. I am expecting already that this is going to be absolutely littered with my underlines and my highlights just based on that description. I feel like there's going to be some really amazing lessons and quotes in here, so I'm super excited about finally getting into Beartown. And then we have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is the 2nd book in the Phantasma duology, I think it just is. I have Phantasma up here. No, I have not read it yet. I got it from Book of the Month. I think that I'm gonna really like it. I really love the Kingdom of the Wicked series, and if you read this description, it kind of sounds like that, and also the cover just looks exactly like the Kingdom of the Wicked, specifically Kingdom of the Feared. That book, it looks so similar to that book, and if it's that same vibe of Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Feared, I think it's gonna be a good series. And this second book in the series, I told myself that I was gonna wait to buy the second book until it came out in paperback, because like I said, I have not read the Phantasma yet, and I didn't want to buy it in hardcover because like I said, I'm trying to be better at buying books I'm not going to read immediately. But from this book haul, clearly we can say that that didn't work as well as I expected it to in the beginning of this year. This is the second book in the series, Enchantra, and if I'm correct, it is about a game, which also gives me the vibe of Caraval. The Caraval trilogy is right here. I loved it so much. It's definitely in some reading logs if you go back in the channel, but I love the Caraval series, and this is also a little like dark fantasy game, and I feel like I just love that vibe. I love that entire vibe for the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber, so I'm excited to read this one. We have there's 2 books left, but the other book that I was super excited about next to Great Big Beautiful Life and Say You'll Remember Me is Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Look at this artwork. Look at this beautiful artwork on the front and on the back. That is so gorgeous. I love Jessa Hastings covers. I think just like her Magnolia Park series, which we all know by now is like one of my ride or die series. I am absolutely obsessed with this series. She has such beautiful covers, and this one does take place in the Magnolia Parks universe. I think that the Magnolia Parks characters are like briefly mentioned in this. But this is about, it doesn't like involve any of the Magnolia Parks characters. It's about Georgia, and it is about her family. I kind of like going into Jessa Hastings books kind of blind, so I'm not going to super read the summary. But the quote on top says, "I can't remember the last time I couldn't get a handle on myself and my emotions. But the lid is slipping. Something about the slipping lid feels like it's Sam Penny's fault. Like he broke the seal and he's slowly opening me up." Just Jessa Hastings' writing feels like I was gonna say feels like coming home, but it's more than that. Feels like it hits a spot in me that no other author really can, and I am so excited to read her next series that we have. So we are definitely gonna be reading Conditions of Will soon. And then last but certainly not least, we have Watch Me by Tahira Mafi. This is a Shadow Me novel, which is kind of crazy because this just came out a couple months ago, but the Shadow Me series has been done for like years, but I guess you just can't let it go. I'm on Restore Me, like I'm halfway through the Shadow Me series right now. Take a little bit of a break from it to read other series, but this, I really loved it when I was reading it. It's a fun young adult dystopian type novel series, and this is the next book. I think the covers are so cool, like all the eyes on the covers. This is gonna be in Juliet's point of view, I think, because I noticed that a lot of the open eyes are in Juliet's point of view, I'm pretty sure. Look how gorgeous this is. I saw this on Amazon and I immediately pre-ordered it like months and months and months ago because I didn't know that it was even coming out, and I knew that I loved the Shadow Me series, and I knew that I wanted to add it on to our Shadow Me list. It's very much giving the vibe of Believe Me, which is the last Shadow Me novella, and then it's Watch Me. So these books are just so gorgeous. I'm obsessed with these books. Is the last book that I've recently got. Oh no, there's one more. The last one is out there, but it is Morningstar by Pierce Brown. It is the 3rd book in the Red Rising trilogy, although I think that there's like a follow-up trilogy to the Red Rising trilogy, but Morningstar is the book that I'm currently on. I'm currently reading it, so it's out there because I was just reading it before I filmed this video. And the last book in the trilogy, Red Rising, if you don't know, it is a sci-fi book that I didn't know that I would love as much as I do, and I've been listening to the graphic audio versions, and that just makes it so much better in my opinion, because the sci-fi, sorry, I thought it was about to storm and I have to go for my walk, so I was like a little bit like scared, but it looks like we're gonna be good. The Red Rising trilogy is something that I am very excited to finally get into and to finally finish up, because I just love the world that Pierce Brown created. If you want more about that, I've talked about it in other videos, but it's a sci-fi book based in like a dystopian type society, and it was really good. So with Morningstar, that is the last book that we recently bought. That is the last book in this book haul. Let me go get my laptop and then we can add these all to my Notion. Okay, so actually really sad story. I had to get a new laptop because mine that I loved so much just randomly decided the screen just decided to stop working. And I had to get this one. And this one's massive. It's huge. It's a MacBook Pro. I had a MacBook Air before, like 13-inch. This is a MacBook Pro 16-inch. I did not need a laptop this big. I don't know why I let myself get a laptop this big. It's kind of ridiculous how big it is. But I have a new laptop and I'm kind of sad because I really love my MacBook Air. We have our new one and we're going to go ahead and add the books that we just talked about onto our Notion template. Tell you a little bit without lifting this massive thing up. I downloaded this Notion page and it has part for like your physical library. So I've been tracking all my books on this page. It basically has the number book of what's in, how many books I have on my TBR, and then it has the title, the author, and a little drop down arrow bar based on whether or not you have read it yet. The last entry on this was number 204. So we have 204 books currently. Well, that's not true. We probably have less because I have been reading some of them throughout the year. But with that, we're going to be adding book 205 here. I have a problem. I have a book buying problem, man. Alright, you guys, 216. We have 216 butts on our TBR right now. Let's go show these guys. Bookshelf, guys. Alright, you guys, we've shelved all our books. Thank you for adding these new exciting books to my shelves. Super excited to read these in future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.